Becky's going to be here any minute. Yeah. Same as last time, greet them. Say hello. Yeah. Brilliant, yeah. Okay, if you go grab him, I'll be sat here, as per usual. Okay, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Quite an array of players in this list. Okay. Beautiful. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So, as you know, we're here today. Clemco Industries, Got it decked out, all the Man United badges and famous players, including your picture. How are you liking it? Nice. Yeah, so as expected, we've formulated a bit of a list, a couple of players that we think is going to suit your squad very well. I know that you were brought in by Man United to do a job. Yeah, of course you were. I mean, you wouldn't be still in the job if they didn't think you were still capable of doing it. We have identified a few areas, as you're probably aware. We did send over a bit of a short list of maybe one or two areas that we thought you could improve, and I've narrowed it down. I found a few players that I think could suit your system quite well. Yeah, you've changed it from when Mourinho was there, playing quite a defensive style, and changed it into more of a free flowing attacking style. Still a lot of elements to go. I've just seen you've had quite a good few wins. You won the Manchester Derby for the first time in a couple of games. Congratulations on that, by the way. Yeah, you beat Tottenham. That was a great win. I mean, for me specifically, if I'm being honest, I'm a Chelsea fan, so seeing Spurs lose, I was quite impressed. And to see Mourinho sort of be a little bit humbled by your team was quite a nice interaction. Anyway, yeah, let's get down to it. You seem quite lively. So we identified sort of three areas. I'll say two areas because some of the players that we've got here are good in a multiple of areas. But specifically the centre of midfield, whether it's a centre midfielder or a central attacking midfielder, so a person that can play a lot more attacking, whereas one can play a bit more of a defensive centre midfield role. Yeah, but also left back. You've had the likes of Luke Shaw. He's been playing for Man United for a couple of seasons now. Never really, as far as I'm aware, hit his true top form. Plenty of injuries have hindered that sort of progression. But I think a new left back, a proper first team left back with great talent, great ability would go well for the squad. Yeah, you agree? Okay, brilliant. And like I said, centre midfielder or a cam, I think it'd be a very good suit for your squad. How are you feeling about that? Excellent, yeah. So we have actually picked out three players that we think could suit your style very well. We know that over the past, couple of seasons, you've spent quite a lot of money, but trying to bring in specific players. You haven't just gone and spent, 300 million on randomers, other than the likes of Fred. But you seem to be getting control of him now quite well. But like we saw in the summer, you brought in Wan-Bissaka to strengthen the right back position. You spent a lot of money on one player that does a certain job, and I'm a big fan of that, if I'm being totally honest. Yeah, so at left back, we have Alex Telles. Now, initially when I first sort of brought up his profile, I was quite surprised to see how young he still is. He's only 26 years old, playing for Porto. He's their first choice left back. He's probably one of the most famous players at Porto at the minute. Yet only holds a market value for around 31.5 million. I think anywhere over 32 million, 33, maybe even 34. You could even bought for a little bit less. I think you can bring him to the club. I think that would be a very, very good option at left back for you. Yes, so some of his attributes is great with the ball at his feet. He's very fast while still being very strong. He's quite a commanding sort of left back. Yeah, you've seen him. Yeah, currently playing Champions League football. Or is he currently? Yeah, I think he's playing Champions League football. May have been knocked out or moved to Europa League, depending on how that group finished with Porto. But obviously, if you bring him in January, he'll go straight into your squad. I think he'll be an excellent choice. Not only is he very fast, tall, strong, defensive, He's just got brilliant wing back capabilities. If there's ever a game where you feel the need to go more of a 5 at the back or 3 at the back with 2 wing backs, however you want to sort of describe sort of 5 at the back formations, he's brilliant. He can get up the wing if you want to play, I don't know, Pogba and McTominay in the midfield as a midfield too, and have the wing backs be the 2 players that get back and forward. I think he's a perfect player for that. Yeah, like I said, only about 31 million, so we've got 2 players around that sort of fee, and then one a little bit more expensive, but rightfully so. Yeah, so how do you feel about that right now? Okay, well, if you give me 2 seconds. I can make sure to have sent you his details over. That's brilliant. Yeah, you'll get that to your boards of directors and scouts, and they'll all receive sort of like an overall email of these players depending on what you have said. So I'll send this on to you, and you can forward it to whoever you want, and I'll just obviously note down your preferences and anything that you want me to make a note of anyway. Okay, brilliant. So moving on, we've got Fabian Ruiz. Now, if you haven't you have heard of him, brilliant, excellent. He's only 23 years old, so again, quite surprising for me when I brought his profile up. A few of the scouts that run through this agency have said that they've picked up on him a few games. They've gone to see some of the Champions League games that he's been in, whether it was for an away game or a home game, and he just seems to be very, very good with the ball at his feet. Now, I know from the likes of Pogba, McTominay, Fred, the type of players that you're playing, you're missing that one player that sort of screams confidence and screams, when he's on the ball, you don't expect him to make a mistake. And I do think Fabian Ruiz could be this player for you. He's great at winning the ball back, whilst also, like I said, keeping hold of the ball, keeping hold of possession, looking for that perfect opportunity. Sort of similar to how Jorginho has been playing at the minute for Chelsea. He's been one of their standout players this season whenever he's on the ball. I know a lot of the players and a lot of the fans are quite confident in the fact that he won't give it away unnecessarily. Yeah. So again, he's capable of, he's a great passing threat, got great vision. So, picking out them key balls forward, I think having him in the midfield with either a defensive player behind him or just playing him as the defensive sort of player, winning the ball, playing it wherever he needs to. I think it could free up Pogba in that midfield as well, depending on what you're sort of after. Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, so onto his fee. He is marketed and he is sort of valued at a high of £54 million, which in my opinion probably isn't going to be worth it. But if you could strike a deal with Napoli, I don't know, maybe offload a player to them, or maybe buy him in January, loan him back out to the club to the end of the season, maybe that will bring his value down a little bit. But I think that's partly to do with how long he's got left on his contract. There's still a few years left on that contract, so yeah. I think to be fair, it is a great. In today's market, you look at 54 million and think, compared to other players, that's not a lot. But compared to where I know, you can't spend over a certain amount. We know this, and that is what, a sixth of the £300 million sort of threshold of spending you're allowed to spend. Obviously, if you recoup a lot of that money, then it's all about profit and loss. He's probably not going to make a dent, but obviously with you bringing in a few players in the summer, you don't want to spend up too much more of that budget. So it all depends on whether you can afford to spend on that player. Again, yeah, like I said, it'll be on a basis of whether the board can authorise that deal specifically. Okay, no, I understand. Let me just type in board would need to authorise. It totally makes sense. Yeah, there's no worries on that half, on that part. Yeah. Okay, so moving forward, literally and figuratively, we have a central attacking midfielder. But the way that I've noticed you set up, whether there's a cam that drops back to centre mid every so often, you never sort of see. How can I describe this? Say like with De Bruyne at Man City, I know you've probably got a lot of information on him already. you don't need to be a Man City fan to know how good he is. He is a central attacking midfielder, as well as David Silva, who has played that cam role, but pushes further forward into the centre forward role when attacking. Whereas the way that you play, you sort of like your centre midfielders to revolve around maybe a central point, and that cam doesn't necessarily go forward as often as you'd expect him to, and maybe will drop back a little bit deeper when needed to. So I think I've picked out a perfect player for this system. You've got the likes of, I think his name's Nicola Barella. I've just got his notes down and it just says Barella, so excuse me for that. He's 22 years old. Now he's been causing a big scene in the Italian league. Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't know if there's any youth players that are Italian coming through for Man United specifically. I know that for a fact you've still got Darmian. Have you still got Darmian? Like I say, I should have done my research a little bit better on this front. But being Italian, he may or may not fit your system. But I can tell you he will do an absolute job at that cam/centre mid role. I've noted that he's a very, very versatile player. Like I said, if you want to push him forward, he'll be more than happy to push forward. Get in on the goals, get plenty of assists. At such a young age, he's already the first team choice at Inter Milan. Yeah, he's a great dribbler with the ball. Like I said, similar to that Fabian Ruiz, great with the ball at his feet, except he's a lot more skillful with it. He's not one of those to just hold on to the ball. He's one to sort of make them darting runs, pick up the ball 1-2s, more like a proper playmaker than really like an architect. Yeah. So is he someone you're keen to look into? Okay. Yeah, well, like I said, they're the 3 players that we've got noted down for you today. Okay. And anyone in particular that you really, really think could be a great suit of the club? Yeah, of course, yeah. So I'll note that down. First choice. So first choice would be Alex Telles. A great choice, if I don't mind me saying. Like I said, I'm surprised no one picked him up sooner. He's been on the radar of a lot of clubs over the past couple of seasons. He's been playing for Porto for a number of years now, and I'm surprised no one's even tried to pick him up. He's great. Like I say, he's great with the ball. Fast, strong, defensive. And I like the Premier League recently. You've seen a lot of formation changes. You saw Ranieri sort of pump the ball forward, get Vardy on it, and that's how they won the season. We've had a lot of the 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, which I think Alex Telles is perfect for. Now you've seen a lot more 4 at the back, but try and free up your midfielders sort of formations emerging over the past season or 2. I think he'd be perfect in any one of those. If you need him to bomb forward, he's happy to bomb forward. If you need him to be a lot more disciplined, coming as an older, more experienced player, I think that you will find that he's a lot more disciplined than you'd expect. Beautiful, right, so I'm going to send this information over to you. Perfect. There you go. Excellent. So, yeah, I conclude this meeting. Yeah, perfect. Nice to meet you. Anyway, and I shall hopefully hear from you in the not too near, in the near future. So, yeah, see you later.